Yo, Sean, C Fats, Zen, Alex, Joe, Matt, Alf, Trauma Do, what's up? Cast Gem. All right. KO, what's going on? All right, we got some news today. We got a yes. So we're going to go over it. We're going to talk about it. What does it mean? What does a yes mean? What are we expecting could potentially happen according to the cycle? Obviously, that is what we're looking at here. We were waiting for the vote. Once the vote was a yes or no, this is going to give us a little bit more information on what AMC is going to do. With the cycle, obviously, I did send out a tweet earlier. Catalysts don't matter. I mean, we know that. And the whole thing here with a yes, it's like even if it was a no, it essentially wouldn't really change the agenda that much because, well, right now we're seeing a lot happen in the markets. We're seeing a lot of these sort of fear. There's a lot of fear in the market, a lot of greed in the market as well on both sides. But I think there's a little bit more fear with what's going on with the banks and stuff. And I really do think this is just to scare retail. We didn't have this in 08, guys. People weren't, spamming the shit out of your news feed with all these FUD articles and everything. So, that's the difference. It's like nobody saw 2008 coming. Everybody's seeing a crash coming here. So that's a pretty major difference in that, this right here that we're experiencing right now is very unique. Okay, we haven't quite seen it happen this way for a while. It's been a pretty long time that we've seen this kind of a shake off here in the overall market. We're starting to see this with crypto right now. Crypto is basically doing this as we speak. Like we're seeing that massive fake out here. Bitcoin back at highs again from that short. I mean, it took 2 days to do that. That's insane. So yeah, that's coming to AMC, man. I'll talk about why I think that. Here is right below. We got Ethereum Classic. Gotta love Ethereum Classic, right? All right, what do we got going on? We have this massive fake out in the entire crypto market. How many shorts just got screwed here, right? Look at the two charts. Look, I'm not going to say that these look exactly the same, but we have seen that correlation in the past before. If I overlay Ethereum Classic's chart on the top, you're going to see some gaps. Okay? But what do we see? We see a gap from the initial run-up, which we know is just the way these two track against each other. Ethereum Classic has gone first. There has not been one time, at least in the short term, that we've seen AMC go first. That was a possibility here, but we didn't get it. Okay, so we have Ethereum Classic come in first. Remember, volume is key. And what do we got going on, right? We have the initial volume after a dry period. We have that big volume coming in. That is what's used for liquidity, not what's happening up here, because the crypto markets will stall forever. Okay, you're gonna be here for months, while AMC is limited to stock, trading hours. So in a way, there's almost on the macro chart, I think there might be a little bit more volatility in the stock market. Obviously, on the micro chart, there's a lot more volatility for crypto. But between these two charts, I mean, Ethereum Classic's just stalling here, creating this double bottom setup, while AMC is doing the same thing, or at least it has the same goal, coming back down to touch a level of support, which we are getting right now. Now, what happens after that? There's a bounce. And I don't think Ethereum Classic is done here. I think Ethereum Classic is going to continue to go up. We're starting to see this with a lot of other cryptos in the market. Right now, we have on the list, Ethereum Classic is last to go with Doge, with Shiba, like all these guys that are considered like the meme crypto sector. These guys are meant to go last for that major rally. Okay, with Bitcoin, again, what do we got going on here? You have this massive fake out. That's not the right chart. And now we're coming back up here to the 26K range. We could probably even go to 30 before Bitcoin starts bringing back down. This right here just liquidated literally everyone trapped in here, dude. Crazy stuff. But good. I mean, this is good because you don't dude, the crypto markets are not going to do, especially at these levels, at these lower levels, they're not going to do what the majority want crypto to do. And that's the same thing with AMC. That's the same thing with GameStop. Look at this, dude. Another reason why I'm bullish. What AES means. I'll go over that here, but I need to kind of just show you everything that's going on, because we also have GME on the list, because GME looks more like what the crypto market is doing than AMC. Not in a bad way or anything, but that's just another reason that sort of confirms this whole thing. Look at this. GME is right here, and look at Ethereum Classic right above. It's got that same setup. Okay, we know that these guys go right after because this liquidity is used for the next run-up. Okay, we've experienced this in the past before. This is nothing new. Okay, we've done this multiple times. How many times? 1, 2, major ones here last year, and then this is going to be that third one going into April. Now, let's go over the vote because that just happened. Obviously got approved. So what does this mean for AMC? I'm going to go over the micro and the macro chart. What does it mean in the short term? What does it mean in the long term? All right. So the majority of you are in here because you're expecting or you've been waiting for a squeeze. I think everybody has been waiting for an AMC squeeze. I don't think that's changed. That is the ultimate goal, right? But what happens after the squeeze? Well, after the squeeze, AMC will either trade sideways in some kind of range or come down, because this is not a forever play. If you look at AMC for fundamental purposes and you're not here for the squeeze, well, then that's a different story. And really what we focus on here is not the fundamental side of AMC. We focus on what the markets are doing with the agenda, this macro cycle that is flowing around in the overall market, how these institutions really control and distribute this money in multiple markets. And there's a lot of correlation with AMC, crypto, and these indexes, right? SPY, like all of this is tied into one thing. So what does this mean for AMC here in the short term? Well, now that we have this vote, and yes, well, now they've approved everything that was on the list. So we have a reverse split coming. The shares, a very small dilution coming in for AMC, not a big one, 50 million. And then we also have, obviously, AMC merging back with Ape. So those three, all approved. And it's going to take effect as soon as the court approves this, right? It's not going to take effect right away unless the courts come out and say, yo, let's approve this shit. Let's make it happen now. And I'm gonna go ahead and make this very clear. This is not financial advice, but this is a very interesting setup right now for AMC, because if the courts, look, we know that the next cycle on AMC, the next point of interest that we track you every single time, regardless of what AMC has done over the last year, 2 years, doesn't matter. Every single time we have a POI, whether it plays out or not, within that zone, we have seen all of these run-ups that we've had. They have been inside of this 2-week period. Okay, that will not change. 5 out of 5, they've all played out. Now, coming into this next point of interest, I said this on the last video. It's weird to me that the court would delay this, because there's only two why would you delay something that does not happen in the cycle? Okay? That is so fucking, dude. All right. And I'll pull up that chart here in a bit. Okay, so this was delayed. And I said this as well, that why would they delay the vote? If it was not delayed, and say something happened here within this period, which now the price is suppressed, and say AMC starts to rally or something very quickly, because this is just we found out what the vote was. It has not been approved. It being approved and actually taking place, the reverse split taking place, that's a lot. There's many differences to that. A catalyst versus something actually taking place, completely different. So the fact that we're not getting this tomorrow, or not that we can't, but they haven't approved anything, so that changes a lot of things here, because going into the cycle here, look, his 2-week period starts in April, and the peak here is the 21st. So the way that I see it, at least, is it got delayed because of this reason. I mean, there's the POIs here, guys, go with the overall market, in that we go up when the market goes up. When it comes down, usually that's around the peak here. We've seen it every single time. Okay? So this is the thing, dude. Why I keep saying this is not financial advice, it's because I am actually looking at this is almost like an option trap for those that like derivatives, and you look into the option chain, you like AMC options. That to me is one of the very difficult things to think about right now, because if this gets approved overnight or something, I've talked about non-standard options. Non-standard options are pretty illiquid in the markets. There's very little demand for them once they do take place. Now we're going to have 3. When this takes into play, we're going to have 3 different ones. Okay? If this gets approved overnight and we wake up or something, and now AMC has a reverse split, those options are just, again, it's not that they're completely gone. Unless they're in the money, you can actually exercise them, and all that jazz. So you wouldn't necessarily be screwed if they were in the money, but if they were out of the money, then there's an issue, because there's a lack of demand for them. The new options are going to have way more demand. So that's one of the things that I think about as well here with this, and kind of the same thing that happened with Ape, because when Ape launched back here, the same thing happened. Okay, and I said the same thing about Ape, but this is just different, because there's no date. There's no date. We have a deadline. Sure, we have a deadline, but they can even push it out further. But if it happens anywhere in between, then that is an issue. That is a problem. So that dude, honestly, like that, and that's just me going over the options part. Everything else that has to do with AMC right now is pointing. We're actually very close here to coming down and double bottoming on AMC. So just looking at it from like a technical perspective, that looks pretty bullish to me in that we're coming down and at least getting very close to that double bottom. Okay, but and I did pull up Ethereum Classic. It showed you that it got very close to double bottom, and then it just sprung, started to climb it very quickly. I am tracking a lot of different patterns that are still calling for upside. Same with Ethereum or GameStop. GameStop, there's one right now that we're tracking that is calling for some upside here very soon. Where is it? Actually, all of these, dude, all of these are calling for upside. Where is it though? This one right here. So the pattern scanner, if you guys don't know what that is, it's a program me and my brother have been developing. He's doing all the back end code guy. He is a genius. And this right here, it was scanned using that program, and it's calling for upside soon. Obviously, I'm not looking for a move like this or anything, but there's a POI right here, point of interest. So also calling for upside on GameStop, which you already know, means that it's more likely than not that AMC would also go up around that time. So it's starting to come up around this range is okay, but really that big push to the upside is we would be expecting sometime in April. I think sometime in April, early April is when the next POI is on AMC and when we would expect the price to climb back up. Right now, things are going to come down because the pressure is down. I mean, obviously the pressure is bearish right now. So letting this thing just fucking play out, man, do its thing. I'm personally going to be looking out for very close, but looking out for the next 2-3 days for things to develop here and start climbing back up with the overall markets. I think that's the best thing for AMC right now. Let me pull up some other stuff here. Oh, yeah, and this happened, guys, if I'm not mistaken, this happened with CEI, and it happened with another, and these were, like, also, like, these were penny stocks that we're talking about here that did this, and it wasn't necessarily approved, or not approved, but there was no pre-warning for this. It just happened. Like markets would close, and then throughout the afternoon session, the reverse split news would come out, and then the next day it would be implemented. So that's the only thing that I'm just looking out for this, because yes, the courts could just dismiss this early. It doesn't have to be approved on the 27th and take place on the 27th. It could take place before. And that's a big deal, dude. That is a big deal. Because if there's no warning, again, some of these options that are held through might take a hit if because once a reverse split takes place, you're gonna see a new option chain. That is just the way it works. Reverse splits do that. Splits don't, but reverse splits do. Okay, let's look at some things here. We go. Okay, I talked about this last week. I made this new indicator here. It's pretty cool because it shows the entire market basically over a set period of time, and it'll display it and give us the percent change over that period of time, and then it gives you a nice little moving average of everything. So this is really good for understanding the way liquidity is used against all sectors in the market, and it just really shows a better representation of the entire market. And you can these are stocks that I look at here for like volatility purposes. And yeah, there's other stocks in here that are just there for filling in some of the gaps, but most of these are going to be stocks that I look at here for volatility. And yeah, we're starting to see. I believe it was do 20 here, and I'm gonna do it on. Okay, I'm gonna do. If you want to find out the percent change from a certain period, you have to like go back. So I want to do it from the start of this bearish market, right, which is about 1,200 bars ago. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then it'll show you the percent change from that point on until now. You can see the chart completely changes because it's ignoring the values before that and just telling me who are the winners right now, right? Who are the winners, who are the losers? Well, from that point on, AMC is down 73%, GME is down 56, and the list goes on, right? You have a bunch of all these other stocks, Bed Bath & Beyond down 92%, Upstart down 90%. I mean, dude, the list is big. I got 40 in here, just showing the entire markets here, and it'll tell you the winners and stuff. This is really good for understanding, again, the liquidity and how it's transferred over. Not saying, this is going to tell you when the next stock is going to come back up, but a lot of the times, obviously, if it's like a shit stock, you're not going to get nothing's going to happen to it. It's just going to remain flat and go down to until it keeps getting shorted. But if it's one that's used highly for liquidity in the markets, those typically are the ones that are controlled by the algorithm, like AMC, GameStop, and those are easier to track, understand where things are flowing, where they're going. And it's just a good way to narrow down the POIs, because it really, the sector in cycles, the sector changes in the way things go up and come down. In 2021, 2020, we had a lot of the crypto stocks go up. Now we have a bunch of these AI stocks go up. Okay, so things are kind of changing slowly, and they're using different stocks for liquidity. So that is going to be spot in here. You're going to be able to see those spikes. And what we had talked about with AMC was the similarities, at least in the crypto. I'm going to pull up the crypto one because I have two. This indicator is called All-in-One. All right, for this, I'm going to use a larger range because I want to track everything from the COVID correction. So I'm going to have to go on, there's 2,000 max bars. I'm going to have to go on the 8-hour chart for this. Okay, so 1,500 is the number. There we go. And yes, some of them are not going to show up because they don't have the same data, the same amount of data. So now it limits a lot of the stock or a lot of the cryptos because of that. So actually, that might not be a good parameter to use. Let's go from here then. Okay, let's try November. I'm picking all of these very specific levels in the market. Anywhere where you see major downside in the overall markets is relevant. So we have March, and then, but again, that's way too much data for it to pick up all these 40. So I'm gonna do November. November was a when basically everything started to come back down. It's about 700. What happened to my moving average though? Okay, we're gonna do this for now because I have way too many cryptos in here, and it's gonna limit this. So one of the things that I had prior to it, I only had 20, so that's why I was able to get all of these. But now that I added more, it kind of changes things a little bit. I'm gonna limit this just a bit so I could show you guys what this is doing. Okay, so for every period at which we have AMC rally or these stocks in the market that have volatility, what is this telling me right here? This spread. That there are cryptos in, and this is not just Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic is part of this mess, but it's not what exactly what tells us if AMC is going to go up or not, because every time we have had some kind of volatility event in the markets here, we also have had something in crypto. And so the ones you're seeing down below here, those go in with this overall average on these higher controlled, higher cap cryptos that don't really move the same way. So this is, Bitcoin, Litecoin, XRP, like those guys that are really at high controlled level, higher dilution. Those are gonna flow with the overall market. But in between that, you have these guys up here. And these guys are what is being used as liquidity. You can clearly see on every run that AMC has had, these guys are there for liquidity. And look at what's going on right here. Same thing. You have a lot of liquidity happening. The markets right now are just they're flushing these traders. Like there's no consistent path yet. It hasn't been established yet. So with AMC here on, we're looking at in the market, things are starting to bounce. Again, this is a way to predict. Yes, it is a way to predict what could potentially happen next in the stock market, because crypto typically goes first, as we've seen time and time again. Okay, so we're starting to see that upside. The bottom is established. Crypto is just bouncing, dude. If I zoom in on the micro chart, you're going to see that this move has already started to play out. Okay, and then I'm going to show you an example here. And we're going to use just the moving average, so you're going to have to bear with me here. Look at all these cryptos, dude. I should have a button that just Okay, so watch this. Crypto markets go up first, right here. Okay, this is where Ethereum Classic goes up first. And then what happens right after? 2 days later, AMC goes up first. Okay, here you can see how the liquidity is just transferred over because it's just, look at that, shaking off until it's gone. What happens right here again? It goes up. And then what happens with AMC? It starts to go up, but the POI hits right after. Again, another 2 days later, AMC rallies. Okay, this thing goes back down again. Bottoms. What is AMC doing right now? This bottoms on the 9th. Okay, and then here, we have about 3 or 4 days later, AMC is bottoming. Rally. Crypto rally. So you can kind of see how things are transferred over. And this is the micro chart, guys. If I pull it up on the macro chart, you're going to be able to see this the same exact way. Except this time, we have to change the bars to compare. I'll do 50 and see if that will give us a little bit more data. I can't do more because it is just going to keep cutting it. Yep, I can't do more. Okay, well, I can't do more because that's the thing about PineScript, bro. Like, what happened to my moving average? Oh. I can maybe do a couple of cryptos that will show it, though. Because we're taking the average of everything here. I want something a little bit more neutralized. So I'll put in a couple here so you can kind of see what I mean. Okay, so here, November 4th. 3 days later, AMC goes up. Here, July 20th, into this stage, crypto starts climbing back up, and then AMC rallies about 3 days later. Right here, March 10th, a bunch of these other cryptos go, and then AMC rallies. Okay, so, like, I mean, I can even go way back, dude. Like, this is just, it's a nice little indicator to show us that things are happening the same way. Again, it's just another way to understand the liquidity in the markets. All right, all right, all right. I'm going to go over SPY. All right, I think we're starting to see a nice little trend change here in the markets. I'm going to pull up some of the stocks that we are tracking. This is one of the ones we've been tracking for almost 2 months now. January, right here. Saw this push, come back down, and now it's calling for upside. Which, again, goes with the cycle. This AMC is expected to peak right around April 21st. And then what happens on the 21st here? SPY starts coming back down. So if AMC peaks here, that bullish pressure would bring it back down. I'm going to come back, man. I'm going to come back here and update you guys every single time on what we're tracking with the overall markets. So far, this pattern right here has been extremely too accurate, man, to the point where it just, like, we just sit back, man, and wait for it to just play out. Because, like, this is just crazy, dude. All right? Calling for upside here now that we have hit this descending level of support down here. And we also have a fake out happening right now. You can call this a parallel channel. Parallel channel. Right there. With a bunch of little fake outs. Fake out, fake out, fake out. SPY, Apple. Look at this pattern we're tracking right now on Apple. And what's crazy about Apple All right, this is another pattern that we tracked. And here is where I was expecting downside for Apple. But so the thing about Apple right now as well is, well, I'm not expecting downside. I was expecting some kind of resistance. So again, this was from December, predicted from December. You got this massive push to the upside. We're trading well on that. Almost seems like we're here, right? Comes back down, maybe. But at this point with POIs, once you hit support or resistance, they can change very quickly. So the other pattern I just pulled up right here is calling for a continuation and more upside, which goes with the cycle as well, because we're expecting a push back down sometime in April, sometime in mid-April. So quad witching week, very important. There's probably going to be some volatility here in the next couple of days. So I'm primed for that, man. Waiting for probably about Thursday for it to kick in. All right, guys, I'm going to let this stream go here. I'm going to go ahead and take a break. I just wanted to come in and update everyone. If you have not subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next stream. If you want to stay updated, make sure you guys join that Discord and also get on that Twitter, man. Update you guys on there as well, now that we know a little bit more about AMC. Alrighty? Bye-bye, guys.